there's always more to surrender. If you're going down on a path of surrender, well, always more to surrender asterisks. If you're going down on a path of surrender in order to create the things that you want, if you want to surrender your feelings around relationships in order to create the relationships you want, surrender your feelings around business in order to create the business or money that you want. If you're going down this path of surrender, it's really super important to sort of realize that if things keep coming up, it's because there's more to surrender. Like, it's like a book. It's like I got a big book here, right? A big book. Now, imagine if I was to read a single page. Oh, that's a good book. And then you look at it and you're like, I'm really frustrated. Why isn't the book finished? The book's a thick book. If we as humans, like as a society, I would argue, have not been well equipped or educated in order to deal with who we are as a person. We blame other people. We blame ourselves when the word blame it's not necessarily helpful. We as people, we are magnificent, crazy, wonderful human beings. And we have a backlog of suppressed bullshit. That's the easiest and only way to describe it. We have a backlog of suppressed bullshit. So just like a book, one page at a time. Now imagine for a second, you are going around carrying a stack of books. You got a backpack full of books. That shit is heavy. That's 90% of people. Walking around with a stack of books on their back or in a backpack with unfinished business, unfinished bullshit that is stopping them from being the person that we're meant to be so they can actually express themselves, love themselves, do everything to create the relationships resistance-free. It's like, what is it, like objects in motion stay in motion unless there's an opposite emotion or opposite motion, laws of physics. It's the same thing. There's the friction that we have that slows us down. The energy moving in the opposite direction of what we want. The thing that says we're not ready for the relationship, business, whatever, because we've got to deal with this shit. That's why, at an emotional level, I'm talking a purely metaphysically emotional level. That's why if you were to go on a diet and lose weight and you bounce back is because you as a person were not ready. You see, you watch two people do a diet and one person sticks and the other person doesn't. It's because the person that stuck was ready. They were ready, I love watching two people like hit on the same person. Yet that same person will gravitate to one of the two people. Why? Because it's the person who has more space in their life for them, more space in their heart for that person. So we as people, we have so much shit to get through. So if you are on the path of surrender, remember that if there is more, that's because there is more. But it changes. It changes and it will change. So, first of all, if you don't know what surrender is, if you watch, 3 minutes 30 up until this point, you're like, I don't even know what surrender is. Surrender is the incredibly easy way to sort of deal with healing. Let up all the old psychic wounds, come up so you can heal your emotions. It is you feel your emotions without trying to modify them. That is literally it, which means if you feel sad, you surrender to feeling sad. You don't try and modify it. If you feel like shit, you surrender to feeling shit. If you feel like trying to speed up the process, you surrender to the feeling of trying to speed up the process. As you do, you let the emotions come up and pass, you clear the fucking energetic pipe of who you are as a goddamn person, and then as a result, you get more fucking happiness. Like, that's one of the immediate effects. It's like happiness, lightness. You end up creating the relationships you want to create. You do it like I'm currently working on my body through that and my business, like my ability to express myself. And truth be told, whenever it's time for me to do one of these videos, I just sit here and surrender all of my feelings. That's all I do until the motivation strikes me. But sometimes there's a lot. We have a lot of emotions stopping us from being and truly being the things. We have a backlog. It is not that it will last forever, because it does not. There is like a limit. Like, it's fundamentally very fascinating, and it's fundamentally interesting when you observe eventually that you will feel lighter as a result. Now, most people are worried, right? I watch this, as I teach people how to surrender. I'm observing this with you guys, that some people are like, oh, but I'm not getting the benefits of it. I'm not getting the benefits of it, or it's taking long, or there's a lot of feelings coming up, and it's like it still keeps coming. The act of surrender itself is healing. The act of doing it is healing. Sure, you get results from it as well, but think of it this way. If you didn't want to feel sad, if you didn't want to feel hurt, if you didn't want to feel frustrated, what ends up happening is you're avoiding it. You're like, no. That's the same way as me saying, I've got this book and I don't want to read it. No. So suddenly you've got all this wasted energy going, no. I don't want this. I don't want this. To surrender and say, at the very least, I'm going to look at it. I don't even have to read it. I'm going to look at it. That pushing away energy is gone. That opens up more space in your heart for the very thing that you desire. That is what one of my mentors would always describe it as, this universal law. He always described it as just make space for the thing that you want. Make space for the thing that you want. And I fucking agree with it 1,000,000%. So, what do? We pay attention to what is happening within us and we surrender. We pay attention to what is happening within us and we surrender. We pay attention to what is happening within us and we surrender. If you're feeling sad, frustrated, all of this stuff. I watch you guys. I see the transformation. I watch the comments and I reply and I see the fucking transformation with you motherfuckers. Going from like, I want to, like Gigi. I always bring up Gigi because you comment the most and I love it, right? But I'm watching you specifically, Gigi, go from a like, oh, I can't express myself, to I did express myself, to I'm not getting the response I want, to I definitely didn't get the response I want, to now I am sad and frustrated. Like, we go on this journey, but the fear of the reaction holds us back. So watching Gigi at the start, look, this person's not responding to me. You got your response. It wasn't the response that you wanted, but you got your response. That's important. That is so fundamentally important to know, that the manifestation is happening. Then we refine it. So it's like, you didn't get it wrong because you didn't get the response you wanted. You got it right because you got a response. Then you refine. Then you go, okay, cool. This person just wants to be friends with me. That's cool. I then surrender to all my feelings towards that. Frustration, happiness, sadness. In the end, you'll realize that all relationships are based off friendships. In the end, you'll eventually also realize that it's okay for someone to reject you because you'll always get something better. It might be with the same person, but you will always get something better. That's one of the realizations I had through surrender. You might not get what you want, you will always get something better. And it might even be with the same thing, because sometimes we want the thing because of the glamour we've put on it. We've put extra ideals, extra sensations, extra feelings. Ooh, if I have the relationship, then I'll finally be happy. And then the person rejects you to make you deal with your sadness. So therefore, the relationship is no longer a symbol of happiness, and you have pure desire. You say, I want a relationship. And they go, well, I can see it's no longer... It's like it's unblocked, if that makes sense. They can feel that your happiness is no longer dictated on them. So then they will allow it, but you might even, by the time that happens, not even want a relationship with that person. I love it when I work with people, like directly, like privately, and they go from like, oh, I want this thing, to like, fuck that person, to I'm getting the thing, and now I have too much of it. Like, it's a beautiful transition. But sometimes we have a lot of fucking gunk. Like me, for example, with my own like body manifestation journey. I have a lot of feeling fat to get through. Am I fat? No. But through the process, I'm accepting a lot of things through the simple feeling of feeling whatever is going in my stomach. 3, 2, 1, bye.